Hi Crossroads fam. Sorry for the delay, I had some technical difficulties, but today we're going to be doing Snickerdoodles and doing a second attempt at gluten-free cookies. So I actually just baked a batch beforehand. So let's see, 1 second. Okay. No, I just started. Okay, here we are. Hi Brittany. Hi Lisa. Okay, so what do we need for Snickerdoodle? So first off is the topping. We need that cinnamon and sugar. So hopefully you can see. So it's like you'll probably need like maybe like 3/4 cup of sugar, and then like 1 to 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, okay? And after the cookies are all done, we're gonna roll them in there. So you'll see in a minute. And then we're gonna need a little bit of milk. So one thing I learned with gluten-free cookies, if you're gonna use coconut flour, you're gonna need a lot more moisture because coconut flour is a lot drier than the real flour. So you'll need a little bit of milk, which I have here. 4 large eggs. So you need a lot more eggs too with gluten-free cookies to hold the cookies together, which I learned. And you'll need baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 3/4 cup of coconut flour is the recipe I'm using, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and then you need 1/3 cup of oil. That's another thing that I learned that you need is to keep those cookies really moist is some oil, and then 6 tablespoons of butter. Okay, so let's get started. So first we're gonna mix our dry ingredients all together. Hi Edward. Okay, so I'm gonna do about because I tested the recipe out beforehand, so I'm gonna do about a cup of coconut flour because I found that I needed a little bit more than 3/4 cup. So 1 cup of coconut flour. Okay, so there's 1 cup. And then baking powder. So let me get the baking powder, 1 second. So we have our baking powder. Hey Edward, have you moved to Tennessee yet? I saw your place, it looks so nice. So 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So I have my baking powder here. There's 1 teaspoon. Do a little half here. Okay. Now 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Not yet, you Saturday, okay. Are you getting excited? I heard, what part of Tennessee are you going to? Okay, so we have 1/4 teaspoon of salt. All right, and then we're gonna do the sugar in a different mixture. Okay, so there's our dry ingredients. So I have the baking powder, the coconut flour, and the salt. I'm just gonna give that little whisk all together here. Okay, now we're gonna do our wet ingredients in a separate bowl. So that's gonna be our butter. So we need a little bit less than a stick of butter. So a stick of butter is 8 tablespoons. We need 6 tablespoons. So I'm gonna get out just 6 tablespoons here worth. So just a little under, probably about 3/4 size of the bowl. Okay, so I'm gonna wish that down, get that nice creamy. So we have the butter. Let's do our oil. So I'm just gonna use canola oil. You can use anything like, we need 1/3 cup. You can use anything like coconut oil might be good with the coconut flour. vegetable oil, but canola oil is what I have, so I'm going to use that. So put that in there. I'm very excited. Shelbyville, 50 minutes south of Nashville Airport. Oh, how wonderful. I want to go to Tennessee so bad. My dad said that that's his favorite state in the U.S. Apparently it's just beautiful, like the mountains and the greenery. So I'll be sad to see you go, but that's so exciting. Very exciting. Okay, so I'm trying to cream the butter and the oil all together. All right. And then now I'm going to add in, so now I'm going to start beating that together to make it really creamy, because we want to make like a creamy paste to keep those the gluten cookies together. Oh, I would love that, Edward. I definitely want to go to Nashville. It's like one of my bucket list. I've been to Memphis. Memphis is a really cool city too. They have like the all the jazz music, that whole street that has like all the jazz music. Really cool. Lots of good live music. That's one thing you're gonna get a lot of in Tennessee is good music. Okay, so see how we have that all creamed together? Now I'm gonna go ahead and add in my sugar. Okay, so for the sugar, we need 3/4 cup. So I'm gonna take 1/4 cup measuring, and I'm gonna add in, continue to add in 3. I'm gonna add in 3 of these. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's that. So I'm gonna mix that all together, and you'll see it starts to turn into like a cream. And that's what's gonna keep the cookies nice and moist. Unlike the last time I made them and they were so dry, but my grandpa was nice enough to tell me that they were good, even though I know they weren't. Okay, so there's that. And now we need a little bit of milk. So I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of milk. You can use almond milk if you're dairy-free, or oat milk, but I don't have any of that here. So I used the rest of my coconut milk on my smoothie. It was disgusting. Okay, so cream that together. So we have, oh, and we can't forget the eggs. That's a very important part with the gluten-free cookies, because that's really what's gonna bind them all together. Okay. So 1. Oop, that one egg was stuck. 2. Throw that in here. 3. 4. That's a lot of eggs for a batch of cookies, but you love to eat eggs, so that's good, because these cookies I think are pretty high in protein with all these eggs. I was reading, so after I made the cookies last time, I was reading on here, for coconut flour, every 1/2 cup of coconut flour you use, you need 2 to 3 eggs. And I think I used like 2 cups. So the last time I should have used like anywhere from 4 to 4, or no, I think it was like 8 to 10 eggs or something like that I needed. So that's quite a bit of eggs. So if you want high protein cookies, I guess you can say, these are it. Okay, so we have, you can see the mixture here. So this is the wet mixture that we're gonna add to the dry mixture. Okay, so one last thing we're forgetting is the vanilla extract. And that's gonna make the cookies nice and yummy. Let me put these eggs away. I love vanilla. And we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, there's that. Put that up here. as you guys can see. Get in there. Okay, so now that we have that all nice and creamy, we're gonna add it to our dry mixture now. Okay, so let's add this in. Let me get that, I'll put that here. Get all of this butter and creamy goodness out. I think the eggs are the only thing that's probably healthy in these cookies. Okay, so we have that all together. So now we're just gonna mix in. And if you find that the dough is a little too moist, you're just gonna slowly add in some more coconut flour, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, ooh. Almost there. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna need some more flour here. So once you have those two together, just slowly start to add in some coconut flour until you get that consistency that you want for cookies. So if you like fluffy cookies, you might need a little bit more. If you like really chewy and moist cookies, you might need a little bit less. So it really depends on how you like your cookies. I like mine chewy. Some people like them like hockey pucks. I don't like them like hockey pucks. Okay, so we're getting there, as you can see. I think it needs a little bit more coconut flour. Okay. I think that should be good, but let's see. Yeah, here we go. Okay, now let me go get my pan because we're gonna get ready to put these on the baking sheet, but I already have them a batch pre-baked, so that way you can see the finished product, and I'll try it right here. I might even take one to my grandpa to see if he likes it, because he's the cookie judge. Okay, so as you can see, I have a pretty thick batter going here, which is what we want. Because now we're gonna roll it in the cinnamon and sugar to make it Snickerdoodle cookies. Okay, let me go get the sheet pan. Okay. So I have my little cinnamon mixture here. So I'm gonna take my cookie scoop, right? Almost like an ice cream scoop. And I'm gonna scoop out a little ball. Okay, and put it into a ball. Then I'm gonna roll it in the sugar and cinnamon mixture. Okay. And after I have them out, I'm gonna set them here, and I'm gonna make a nice little round cookie on the sheet. This dough kind of is very different to actual cookie dough with the coconut flour. So you can kind of mold it on the paper as you see fit. So I'll do one more for you guys. Okay, grab my little ball, I'm rolling it around. Getting all that cinnamon and sugar on there. Okay, put it here. And I'm gonna keep doing that until all my dough is done. Okay, so then these are gonna go into the oven. After you do a whole set here, these are gonna go into the oven for at 360 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes, okay? And just till you get that kind of, if you want a little bit of a tougher cookie or if you want a softer cookie, you'll adjust it like that. Okay, so I actually baked some beforehand already. They look pretty good for, it's such a different dough. You can see how yellow it is. I think it's from all the egg yolk in there, but let's see how they taste. That's the true test. So let me go get the ones I made beforehand. 1 second. Okay, so this is what the finished product looks like. All right, I'm gonna try one and then we'll go have my grandpa try one, the cookie tester. So let's see. That looks like a pretty good cookie to me. It's nice and fluffy. Let's see. Okay, very good. My second attempt at coconut flour cookies or gluten-free cookies is a definite success on my end. So let's go see. Let's go ask my grandpa what he thinks. Okay, taking my cookies. Have to go into there. Thanks, Edward. All right, Grandpa, try one of my cookies here. Are they good? All right, we have success, guys. All right, I'll see you next, or 2 weeks from now, okay? Till the next cookie club. Bye.